So I know that I want to just go through one more round, and then we'll do any concluding comments any of you might have. I do want to do this one round of, a lot of you referenced, or all three of you referenced, what it means, the effect of having someone in office who one can actually at least engage with. But what's your vision, since we have all of you, what's your vision about how education should operate in your various different countries? And I think, and what's the kind of the interface? And Emma, both you and Odile said, I'll answer this question afterwards. So I want you basically to answer the question that you wanted to answer about education.
Wow. I can't make a dissertation, unfortunately. But let me go back to the 7th of June and the outcome of the second round of legislative elections. The outcome is, of course, the victory of the Nouveau Front Populaire, I will call it the United Front, with approximately 200 seats in the National Assembly. But the problem is that it is not the majority. The majority would be 289 seats. So I'll give you the figures very quickly. So there is no doubt that the big winner is the Nouveau Front Populaire. The minority presidential camp was second. President Macron's camp, with 168 MPs. They lost 95 seats. The far right camp, with the RN, Rassemblement National, they won 143 seats, which means that they gained 37 seats compared to 2022, which is too much, but it is not the it is not the outcome they expected. They thought that they would win. They even thought during the 3-week campaign that they would get the majority. And they were having this narrative, which was, the narrative was, as we will get the majority, or we will be close to the majority, we're going to request to have President Macron appoint a prime minister from the far right. And this is probably only what I'm just telling you now is probably what woke up my fellow citizens, all people in France. What we call the Republican, which is a traditional right-wing party, they won 45 seats. It's a loss of around 20 seats compared to 2022. So, what is the situation now? And you are referring to education. But before talking about education, I'm sorry to say to you that we no longer have any government in France. We're only having a President Macron, who decided 2 weeks ago, that was right before I left my country, decided to dissolve the government, but the ministers are still working. We're having what we call a technical government, believe it or not. And the latest news are that President Macron doesn't want to do anything before the Olympic Games are over. Right. This is one thing that you should know. The second thing that is a very strong attack against democracy is that it does not acknowledge the fact that the Nouveau Front Populaire won the elections. There's the party, the let's say the United Front, the most important what we call bloc inside the National Assembly, but it completely refuses this reality. To give you some details, the Nouveau Front Populaire made a proposal last week for a prime minister, a young lady, 37 years old, somebody who has all the competences to be appointed prime minister. But he even didn't dare pronounce her name in a statement on TV. So, now you're asking me about education. Well, education, I think, and believe me, there is a very strong united front when it comes to criticize the proposals made by the far right in France. I think that most education unions in France have the responsibility to keep on explaining the real educational program that the far right would set up if they had the power. And I know I don't have the time to give you too many details, but I can tell you that it has nothing to do with democracy. Far right in France threatens trade union rights, freedom of expression of education personnel. It has what I would call an anti-republican vision of schools.
Yeah.
It never condemns the inadequacy of financial resources. It doesn't talk about the deterioration of working conditions. And very important, it never takes a critical look at education and social inequalities. So, what is our responsibility? It is to denounce that this political party promotes hatred, racism, anti-Semitism, and also LGBT phobia and sexism. The educational program that we've been working on several years ago, but in my union there is someone that is working on and analyzing the program. This program is also saying very clearly that there is no point in increasing funding for public education. Private schools should be supported strongly, and our view in SNES-FSU is that private schools would favor more and more a form of what we call social separatism.
Yeah.
Okay? So it probably rings a bell to you.
Yes.
Sounds identical.
Yeah.
I'm gonna because I know
Yeah, I
everybody
know
wants
time is
to
up,
get to the session
hope I
by.
was clear.
No, you were crystal,
Yeah.
fearlessly crystal, terrifyingly clear. Emma.